So Apple Vision Pro, very anticipated product. A lot of people were excited about it. I think there's still a lot of people excited about it. I'm not excited about trying to shell out $3,500, but
No.
hey, the big surprise though is that maybe it's not as great as everybody thinks it is. We're starting to be a little bit concerned because if you look at the press lately, areas that we've seen that are hardcore Apple fans, fanboys, however you want to say it, Apple Insider, 9 to 5 Mac, MKBHD, they're all throwing up a few red flags here and there saying there's some issues and we're not sure that this is the next iPhone and could possibly not be a winner for Apple. Dave, why don't you take us through? I think you found an article here that starts to sum up some of this.
Yeah, again, it's an Apple Insider article. Apple Vision Pro is not the iPhone. It faces incredibly steep uphill climb. I think it's a, I think it's a very beautiful device, but I don't think it's what Apple intended it to be from day one. They point this out here very quickly. Apple certainly isn't doomed if the Apple Vision Pro isn't a blockbuster out of the gate, which is good because it is launching to a product category that is so small and poorly defined that it doesn't even qualify as a nascent yet. So, good, bad, and different, however you want to talk about it. And we've seen for years, the last 30 years in movies, especially the reference here, Stephen King's Lawnmower Man film adaptation, and some of the titles with virtual reality as its center graced on our screens. Minority Report to a degree, where you've got the screens and you talk. I don't know. I think we still have a long way to go, and I don't think VR per se right now. And you made a comment to this not long ago about until we get a holodeck, I don't think it's going to be that way. I think I won't go that far yet. I go back to the Star Wars mentality of until I have something I can have a grainy picture of somebody talking to me on like a hologram. That's kind of like me. But this next part of the article here, Apple does what it will do with little concerns surrounding the competitors. Apple's always done that. They've never been first to market really with anything. And they talk about here the HTC Vive Pro and the HoloLens. Those actually had, VR gaming was tied to Steam. Vive was one of the big ones out there. And then we talk about the HoloLens from Microsoft. That was pure engineering. That's what it was designed to do. And that failed. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on it so far?
Here's my problem with it is that I've always been the keep a simple, stupid plan. Less is more type thing. This is more is more. Nothing. I don't want this strapped to my head. Nothing. I'm a minimalist. If you look at my desk, I have very few things on my desk. Same thing with my iPhone. I only keep the apps on it that I actually use. It's not cluttered with junk. Nothing. And when I look at this, it's hard to want to wear it. It's just big, bulky. MKBHD said it's heavy. Nothing. I have neck problems. I can't even imagine wearing this for 10 minutes, let alone a few hours trying to watch a movie.
Yep.
Nothing. But it's hard to share moments with the person next to you watching movies and other content consumption because that's what this is. This is a content consumption device. You can have multiple of these in a room. $3,500 a piece. Come on. Nothing.
Yeah, and
I'm
Apple's
concerned.
not trying to make this for multiple users either. This is tied to you.
Oh yeah, there's not even a profile setting from what I can tell, where you could switch
Nope.
users if you wanted to, because it's very bound to how it scans your face. Nothing. But on top of that, there's other companies out there that are doing the exact opposite. Humane.ai has that little pin that they want to put on your shirt,
Yeah.
nothing, and do a projection into your hand as to, okay, I'm going to make a phone call on my hand. Cool, get you whatever. The
Practical, no.
Rabbit R1, we just
Yep.
talked about that on another video. It's an AI device that's the size of a 2x2 square. It's simplistic. It executes commands via verbal a gesture, nothing, and then can actually do something with the commands, which is sort of interesting. Different video, go watch it if you're interested. Nothing. But long story short, they're making AI less and less obtrusive and getting in the way. They're making tech less and less obtrusive in terms of what you have to handle to get access to the AI and access to the game and access to your apps. This is the exact opposite. This is just, I don't know. I don't see it as a wide adoption. I think Meta. If I scroll down in the article here, I'm pretty sure Meta brought this up.
Oh,
Yeah,
about
right here.
what they sold and considered it a loss?
Yeah, I mean, here it is right here. Every account, I mean, even at $500, which is what, a fourth of what, this is selling for, then 20 million in sales. Yeah, I would love to sell 20 million of anything myself, nothing, but when you're the size of Meta, that's dink. The size of Apple, it's even smaller. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, if you can't push it out at that price point with something that is content creation forward for gaming, I don't see where you're going to use it for every day to, go edit a Word document.
No, and this is funny. Down further in the article, it talks about Apple Vision Pro platform goes beyond hardware control too. Apple also wants to shape the language around augmented reality and virtual reality. But here's the thing. In that sentence, the next sentence after it, Apple demands that developers not call software for it augmented reality or virtual reality. It's trying to command the spatial computing moniker for itself in the most Apple possible way. Yeah, I get that, but we can call things 16 different things as long as it's the same product. It doesn't matter. I think Apple's product around their marketing around that has got so many people confused. They don't know what to do. I mean, Apple and Meta are competing for every eyeball of every consumer. I mean, it is a bespoke piece of hardware. I don't want to take anything of that away, but I think they should have started much lower, which they're going to do another version next time. So I don't know. I own
Yeah.
a Quest 2. I think you own a Quest. I still don't use them.
Well, and you think about it this way too. I mean, AR itself, nothing. I mean, that's been out for a while in terms of glasses, stuff like that. I mean, Google, I think
3D
paid the
TVs.
yeah, Google paid the ultimate price with what do people call them? Glass holes. I think that's what they were
Yes.
calling people that were wearing them.
Oh yeah,
So
the Google glasses.
I mean, that died a slow, I wouldn't say a slow death, but a medium slow death. I don't know how you put it. Nothing,
Yeah.
because it's just not going to be widely adopted. Nobody wanted to see it. Nobody wanted to see a camera pointing at them coming off somebody's face. Nothing. This is worse because, I mean, VR, it has, again, for gaming, yeah, I get it, but you're wandering around a room, until it's an actual, holodeck. I don't see it. There was actually an article, and I'll have to find it later. Disney made something called a hollow. It was like a treadmill that you could walk on and everything. So I mean, at least you could be in one
Yeah.
place and not, randomly go into a wall or something like that because you exceeded a boundary. I don't get this AR and VR. It's just not going to be widely adopted. You're gonna get the the geeks that want to play video games and stuff like that, and
And
all the
trust
power
me,
to you.
we're geeks, but not that kind of geek money.
But this has zero adoption, I think, in the average office, worker space. And I think, and Microsoft already proved that it wasn't going to be something that captured a lot of money. It was a loss leader at best. And then out in the
Yeah.
industry for even medical community, manufacturing, things like that, and that actually had a purpose. Like, so I don't know. I don't get it.
I'd like to see this evolve over time, but I think this was too big of a launch. And again, not being trying to be mean or anything else, but I think Tim Cook was trying to make this his Steve Jobs moment, his legacy piece. And I get it. I think he's leaving Apple this year, and they still haven't talked about who is going to take his spot. But there should have been something different as his legacy piece. This is not, in my opinion, a good legacy. Now, I could be eating crow in 5 years after that, but 5 years in the tech world is forever. So I don't know.
Well, and hopefully, if at least in 5 years, it's a little bit lighter, and we don't have folks complaining of neck strain.
It'll
But
be made out of unobtainium.
yeah, exactly. I just don't. I don't see it. Nothing. I'm sure they'll still sell. I don't think it's selling as fast as they thought it was going to sell. Nothing, and it's certainly got to come down in price for any kind of wide adoption. But there's also got to be a better use case than where it's at today.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Well, throw something in the comments if you agree. If you bought one and you want to tell us why, I'd love to hear about it. Nothing. If you feel like we do, again, love to hear about it. Nothing. But subscribe and let us know what you're thinking.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all.